Just announced. Princess Leonor's first statement as a married royal, first words now public. A royal wedding. A radiant bride. The world expects a polite smile. Suddenly, words no one foresaw. The new princess speaks. Not tradition. Not a prepared speech. Something else entirely. Why did she say this? And what does it reveal about the future of the crown? The bells of Madrid still echo in the hearts of millions. The grand wedding of Princess Leonor of Asturias, now a married royal, was more than ceremony. It was history in motion. Crowds gathered outside the palace gates, cameras fixed, waiting for a glimpse of the couple. Everyone expected a wave, a photograph, perhaps a few whispered words. But the moment arrived differently. Leonor, her hand resting gently on her husband's arm, turned to the microphones. Her first words as a married royal. No rehearsed greeting, no dry protocol. Instead, she spoke from her heart. And in doing so, she changed the tone of the monarchy. What did she say? Why did it strike so deeply? Those who heard it live described it as both tender and defiant. She spoke of duty, yes, but also of love, choice, and the people she now represents. She began by thanking her parents, King Felipe and Queen Letizia, not for their titles but for teaching her empathy. Then she shifted. She thanked the people of Spain for believing in a future monarchy shaped by compassion. She even thanked her critics, saying they gave her strength to grow. But this was not the end. After the applause faded, she added something that drew a collective gasp. She spoke of the shared path she and her husband would walk, not as symbols but as servants of a new era of closeness. It was a direct invitation to the public to hold her accountable, a call for transparency rarely heard from a royal. Insiders later revealed the statement was not pre-approved by the palace communications office. It was Leonor's own. How did she persuade her team to allow it? Or did she simply decide to take the microphone? Here the story deepens. Court officials admit there had been tension in the days before the wedding. Protocol demanded a standard script, but Leonor insisted on writing her own words. Her fiancé, now husband, supported her. The queen reportedly urged caution, while the king quietly gave his blessing. This quiet family drama played out behind velvet curtains while the world focused on gowns and tiaras. And what of the new husband? His identity has fascinated Spain and beyond. A young man of noble lineage, educated in Europe's most prestigious schools, yet known for volunteering in refugee camps and working on environmental projects. His partnership with Leonor is both traditional and revolutionary, two young royals positioning themselves as modern, approachable, and socially conscious. Leonor's first words also hinted at a private promise between them. She said, "We walk forward together, but never above those we serve." This line, almost poetic, has already been quoted in newspapers across Europe. What did she mean by never above? Was it a subtle critique of the old aristocratic distance? Or simply an affirmation of humility? Royal historians are debating it. Some compare the moment to Queen Letizia's own first speech as consort, which emphasized duty over emotion. Others see Leonor's tone as more reminiscent of Princess Diana's natural warmth. But Leonor added a distinctly Spanish rhythm, formal yet intimate, respectful yet daring. And the crowd? They responded with tears and cheers. Older Spaniards saw in her the continuation of a monarchy that had guided them through transition and challenge. Younger Spaniards saw something new, a royal their own age speaking about shared futures and real issues. After the statement, she and her husband retreated into the palace for the private family reception. But even there, sources say, the mood was electric. Relatives from across Europe, Denmark's Prince Christian among them, remarked on the boldness of the speech. Some praised it openly, others worried it set expectations too high. What will this mean for Leonor's reign? Will her openness draw the people closer or expose her to harsher scrutiny? Already, social media is ablaze with clips of her speech, dissecting every word, every gesture. Supporters call it a new dawn. Critics wonder if it was too political. And yet, the emotional truth of that moment cannot be denied. A young woman, stepping into a centuries-old role, publicly choosing love and transparency over rehearsed ritual. For many Spaniards, it felt like a bridge between the palace and the plaza. The next morning, newspapers across Europe splashed her image on the front page. Headlines read, "Leonor's first words break tradition," and "A modern queen in the making." Even across the Atlantic, American and Latin American media picked up the story, framing it as the rise of a new global royal figure. In private, Leonor and her husband reportedly spent their first hours of marriage not in glittering banquets but in quiet reflection, writing thank-you notes to staff and reading letters from schoolchildren. This detail, shared by a palace insider, reinforces the image she projected in her speech. But questions remain. Will her next public statement continue in the same tone? Or was this a one-time gesture for a special day? How will the traditional elements of the monarchy adapt to her approach? These are the curiosity loops she herself set in motion. What we do know is that she has signaled a willingness to be accountable. She said, "Our lives are public because they are yours." That line alone has become a meme, a slogan, a rallying cry. People are already printing it on t-shirts, tweeting it, debating it. This is not merely about one speech. It's about a new generation of royalty shaping expectations before they sit on the throne. Leonor's first statement as a married royal has opened a door that cannot easily be closed. As the weeks unfold, watch for her next steps. Will she launch new charitable initiatives with her husband? Will she visit Spanish provinces to meet citizens directly? Will she take on international diplomacy in a new style? Every choice will be measured against the benchmark she set with those first public words. For now, the image lingers, a young princess, veil lifted, crown glinting, eyes steady, voice clear. She did not just thank her family and the people. She invited them in. She made them part of her story. And by doing so, she may have transformed the monarchy she inherits. The cameras have left, the palace gates are closed again, but the echo of her words remains. And the world waits, curious, expectant, inspired, for what Her Royal Highness Princess Leonor will say next.